Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all 4 brakes.
Oh my gosh, being single is so expensive. This is not what I signed up for. I really gotta go buy outfits just to go out, just to try.
I just want to know, where are the grown men who know what they want, who have their life together, who's loyal, who could do distance if need be, and who knows how to communicate? Where are those guys at? Because
I'm sorry, but it's 2026.
Here comes the bullshit.
Ain't shit for free.
Back we go to the Lululand, where the Delilah's sinister plan is to treat every man like a walking ATM. You ain't never lied.
Gas high as fuck.
This is something that nobody talks about, but it's important and it's real.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Pearl Chronicle.
Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all 4 brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500, so I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours, and it wasn't even like fun. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. You work and 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 you work, and it's just to pay off like your basic necessities. And you can't, like, in this city that I live in, public transport, please.
Welcome to what men been dealing with for decades. Bills, pressure, responsibility, without applause. Independence sounds fun until the real world costs hit. Just bear the consequences.
If I were to do public transport, it's like asking to get raped, and I really shouldn't be crying because now I have to go to another work event, and now I'm gonna be all puffy. Living is so expensive. Just keeping yourself alive and floating is so expensive. And what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted is if I were to take public transport here, especially for my job requires a car. I have to have a bunch of shit that I have to lug with me for work. And I can't do that with public transport. Inflation sucks. Just living in America sucks. Living alone sucks. It's great, but it sucks. Because you have to front all the expenses by yourself. I need a husband just so that I can live. So we can split the bills.
You don't suddenly need love. You need support. A lot of men heard "I don't need a man" for years. Now the bills are answering back. Every dog has his day. Pay for your price. Don't cry for us.
So am I the only one who absolutely hates being single? Because I've been single for a year now, and it sucks. Just enjoy your time. Go out, have fun, enjoy your alone time. There were people who were meant to be alone, and there were people who weren't meant to be alone. I am the second type. This shit sucks. I just want to have someone to come home to hang out with, to talk to watch movies with. I have my kids and they're amazing, but I want like another adult to talk to. And like, obviously I'm not gonna settle for just anybody. I am very picky because I have kids. I'm not for the streets. I'm wife material. I'm not. This isn't fun. I don't like it. Maybe it's my age. I am 28, so maybe that's why I'm so like. And since I was married for 10 years, I was already in that mindset of just being settled down and just being a wife. Like I'm not a girlfriend. What the heck? I don't want to be a girlfriend. But listen to your parents. Don't get married young.
You say you're wife material, but modern dating doesn't reward titles alone. Men today are cautious, especially when kids and past baggage enter the picture.
Oh my gosh, being single is so expensive. This is not what I signed up for. I really gotta go buy outfits just to go out, just to try to impress these fools. And then on top of that, when I do go out, I gotta at least buy myself an initial, beginner drink. So whatever that price may be. Sometimes I even gotta pay to get into places by myself. I'm just so disgusted.
You wanted freedom and independence. This is the bill that comes with it. Dating isn't glamorous when you're funding your own lifestyle and attention. If you can't maintain fancy lifestyle, then just sleep off, period.
Okay, something I feel like that's not talked about enough on this app is being single and financially how hard it is. I literally work 2 jobs. I work in sales and I teach Pilates part-time. Both of the jobs pay pretty well, but still I feel like it's so hard to stay afloat. And like, don't get me wrong, I like to ski. I definitely don't live a frugal life. I have a nice apartment. Never say no to plans, but like, how are people doing it? How are you attending everyone's bachelorette parties, everyone's birthday dinner, going on all of these trips with your friend and having leftover money to spend on yourself? Completely stopped doing my hair, so that saves some money. Truly exhausting. I just don't understand it.
Modern life humbled a lot of people fast. Bills don't care about independence speeches. Men been carrying this financial pressure silently for years. Tears won't solve anything. Just stand and work, nothing else.
I just want to know, where are the grown men who know what they want, who have their life together, who's loyal, who could do distance if need be, and who knows how to communicate? Like, where are those guys at? Because I haven't found not one of those. And let's not forget, knows how to treat their woman like a queen. It's like every time you think this person is freaking mature enough to deal with a situation, they're not. I'm so over the dating right now. Like, I am over it. I'm about to delete all these apps. All of them. Because the guys on them, trash.
Those men exist. They just stopped tolerating chaos, entitlement, and games. A lot of solid men got tired of giving everything and getting stressed back.
So my price is high as fuck.
I ain't giving you shit.
If you want to talk to me, you have to pay. If you want me to pick up the phone, you have to pay. If you want me to text you back, you have to pay.
What you talking about?
If you want my fucking number, you're gonna have to pay. Nothing's for free. Y'all gonna have to pay.
Flag on the play. Now, this is a perfect example of Delulu logic, because who convinced her that her time and attention equals a man's hard-earned money?
Are you trying to take advantage of me?
Pay to play. Pay to talk. Pay when it comes to make. The fuck?
Give me money, give me.
And then they wonder why guys aren't lining up to commit.
I'll be damned.
Listen, if you run across a Delilah and she thinks you owe her money for you trying to be in her life, do yourself a favor and don't even bother and show her ass taillights and tailpipes.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? It is significantly more expensive to be single, to the point that it's like economically irresponsible to cook when you're single. It costs $75 to make a meal, not to mention the cost of running the dishwasher, washing up all of the pots and pans. And then what am I gonna do? Eat lasagna for 6 days? When I could use Uber Eats and one of their various codes each week to get a salad for $9. Like, imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single. Just imagine if there were no more single people. The food and beverage industry would just collapse.
Now people are rediscovering why families and partnerships mattered. Life gets brutally expensive when one person carries every bill alone. It's just the beginning because men aren't turning to relationship confusions.
It actually costs you more to be single than it does in a relationship, and let me tell you why. Also, yes, I'm in the bathtub. Shut up. When I was living with my roommate in a very nice area, it was a 2-bed, 2-bath, beautiful balcony in a very safe area. All utilities were included, but Wi-Fi. We had a parking stall included as well. The only extra was like a pet fee, which I paid. I now live in a basement, 1 bed, 1 bath, again, in a nice area, just a different nice area. Street parking, no balcony. All utilities are on me. And I pay, depending on the utilities, because that does vary, but I would say close to $1,600 a month. So yes, it is cheaper to live with your partner or roommate than it is to live by yourself.
Men been saying this forever. Life works better with cooperation, not competition. Splitting bills, pressure, and responsibility is what real partnership was built for. I think it's better you buy a cat also.
On today's episode of Decentering Man, I want to talk about the honest fact that the hardest part about being single and living alone is by far being able to afford it. It is very expensive to be alive right now. And a lot of women, myself included, we find ourselves in these professional roles that are more supportive, right? And because of that, it's almost like they treat your pay as if it's like a supplemental income, as if you have a man making 6 figures at home and your money is just like shopping money or Monopoly money. It's like, actually, no, my rent is almost $2,000 a month. So can we have a conversation around like I work 40 hours a week and you want to pay me $2,200 a month? Like that's literally not a livable wage. But until you kind of learn how to have that conversation and negotiate for yourself and get a better job, you're in that position because you need something, right? And all of this to say, I don't necessarily have a solution for this other than it's a double-sided conversation about earning and about spending. You got to make more money, you got to spend less money. That's the simple answer. And I don't have the answers on how to do either of those because I'm not a money girl on here, okay?
Welcome to the pressure men have carried forever. Work nonstop, pay everything, stay afloat silently. Now people are realizing survival alone is no joke. And they used to rant, men offer nothing, now do it yourself.
So when I get upset and worked up and anxious and worried and all these things about money, because how could you not in our world, how I cope with it as a single person living by myself is I would so much rather be in this position of like, how the fuck am I gonna figure this shit out? Oh my God, that position, that problem, than what I would imagine the other end of the pendulum swing to be of I am financially strapped to a man. I will never find myself in that position because I refuse to have to stay in a relationship because I need somebody's finances in order to survive. I can't do it. I'm so unbelievably terrified of that. I'm terrified of that and going further, terrified of having a baby with that person, getting pregnant by that person. That is my personal nightmare. So all of this to say, if you are a single person living alone and it's really hard when it comes time to pay rent and pay all the bills, do all the things, just know, yes, it's hard. You are allowed to be worried. And the other end of the spectrum ain't that much better.
You fear depending on a man, but also fear carrying life alone. That's the contradiction modern dating created. Reject partnership, then struggle under solo responsibility.
It's expensive to be single. And nobody really talks about that. So a year and a half ago, I ended up moving in with my cousin. We made a strategic decision to move in together. And I looked at her and I was like, you know what? You single, I'm single. Why don't we move in together? And what we ended up doing is creating a double income, no kid, think household. And I remember I ended up writing an article about this and somebody was like, I never thought about it. I always thought about dinks as married people who make dinks. I made a dink with my cousin. Right? Double income, no kid household. Now, here's the thing. Me and my cousin can both afford to live on our own. But by moving in together, what we did is we combined our finances and we're able to put back so much money by moving in together. But outside of that, it's very expensive to be single. At the end of the day, married people have 2 incomes coming into that household. So if one person during this recession that is coming up loses that job, there is some other person to fall back on. Me as a single woman, if I lose that job, there is no second income. But for me, I always want to ensure I have multiple streams of revenue, multiple streams of top line coming in, because as a single woman, I want to ensure I am thinking about my long-term success. And that's the reality of it's expensive to be single.
People mocked marriage and traditional partnership for years. Now they're rediscovering why teamwork mattered. Life gets real expensive when there's nobody beside you carrying half the load.
I'm telling you, that singleness only hits you at night. When you ripping and running throughout the day, when you at work, when you whatever extracurricular activities, when you doing hobbies, when you at the gym, you don't even care about being single. That's not even on your mind. But when you pull up to the house at night and you get in that bed alone, that's when you be like, I really wish I could cuddle up with somebody, or I really wish I could tell somebody about my day. That's when the singleness hits you. Damn, I wish I had somebody. But throughout the day, you don't even be thinking about like, oh, I wish I had somebody to talk to on my lunch break, or, you know, like, I'm not even thinking about that stuff. But at night,
when I lay my head down in that empty ass bed, oh yeah, that's when I be like, dang, yeah, I wish I had a little stink.
That's the part nobody admits. Independence sounds exciting until that quiet apartment reminds you there's nobody checking on you, loving on you, or waiting for you.
This is something that nobody talks about, but it's important and it's real. The pain that comes with being single and years and years and years is deep. No matter if you are successful, beautiful, super fit, super rich, have everything in the world, have so many friends, have been traveling all over the world, you know, like, look at me, I'm single and happy. Yeah, you can be. But with it comes a pain of not being witnessed, comes a pain where you wake up every day and you have to give yourself all the love, all the motivation, all the yalla, let's go do it. It's not easy, and nobody talks about how we feel inside when years and years and years and years and years pass by.
Society sold people the fantasy that independence replaces connection. It doesn't. Success, money, trips, attention, none of that hugs you at night or builds a family.
And you're actually just still single because, I don't know because of what, so many reasons. And I just wanted to talk about it because it's hard. I'm a very positive person. I work on myself, I'm active, I have good career, I have amazing family, so many friends. Just came back from DC last night because I was visiting my friends there. Everything looks perfect and is perfect, but there is a pain that really lingers in my soul about the years that keep passing by while I'm not witnessed. And I know that I'm not alone in this. Probably there are so many other people, women and men both, that feel the pain of aloneness.
This is what happens when modern dating turns relationships into ego games, unrealistic standards, and disposable connections. Now everybody's successful and lonely.
I often do videos talking about the fact that I'm 39, single, and happy, but today I wanted to tell you about the worst thing about being single. Gotta keep it real. It's not always easy. So yeah, the worst thing about being single is dun, finances. I have to pay for everything myself. There is no one to share a single bill with. But I'm being serious. Mortgage or rent, bills, food, everything. I get to share costs with nobody. And I know there'll be people like, well, that's your fault. That's your fault because, you know, you're single. You haven't met somebody. You're single, aren't you? It's your fault. Oh, I'm sorry. Should I just be in a relationship just so that I have someone to share the bills with?
For years, relationships were treated like burdens instead of partnerships. Now people are realizing splitting life with a solid man wasn't oppression, it was stability. And now those men opt out of the dating scene.
Does that seem like a good idea? And I cannot even begin to imagine what it's like to be a single parent. There's me and my cat, and I'm struggling, especially in a cost of living crisis, let alone if I had children to feed. Whew. So when it comes to being single, honestly, for me personally, that is the worst thing. Everything else, we good, baby. But the money, before you blame me for being single, just understand that sometimes you can be a really great person. You just didn't meet your match yet. Or should I say, the person you're going to share your bills with.
For years, relationships were treated like burdens instead of partnerships. Now people are realizing splitting life with a solid man wasn't oppression, it was stability. And now those men opt out of the dating scene.
So I've sat back to see if I was tripping, right? But I don't think I am. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not tripping. When it comes to the single life, I don't see a lot of men online, notice I said online, talking about how expensive it is to be single. Now, maybe they say they don't like being single, they rather have a woman, you know, two is better than one, cool. I'm down with all that. I love relationships. I love love. I love the unity. I love all that, long as it's right. And of course, I already know why, right? I already know why that's the case because it's an old saying, and it's a true saying, that men that are single, they save money. when women get in relationships, they then save money. When men are in relationships, they tend to lose a lot of money. I've noticed here lately that the women are admitting that it's true, because they're saying being single is expensive. And every time they bring up being single is expensive, they're always talking about a man paying for something. It's never about any type of cooperation. It's never about femininity matching with masculinity. It's never about unity, which is what a relationship is supposed to be about. You know, togetherness, which is what a relationship is supposed to be about. It's always about saving some type of money, or saving her from debt, or saving her from her own expensive taste, I guess you could say, and letting the men take care of that burden. So as long as women admit that they want to be in a relationship so they can save money, men will continue to be like, nah, I'm good, because I save money by being single. And men that think like that, they already know they would rather have a woman that's an asset than liability. Because don't get me wrong, there are women that are assets out here. It might be few and far between, or, rare to find, but there are women that are assets out here. It's just that we understand when a woman says, hey, being single is expensive, we understand she then is a liability. Simple.
That's exactly why a lot of men stay cautious now. Men don't mind building with a woman, but they refuse to become somebody's financial life raft. Anyway, that's enough for today. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, share, and stay tuned for the next video.